Hello friends, hello colleagues. I was asked by Sebastian Batschen from Historical Materialism to record a short video that introduces my book Theories of Ideology, The Powers of Alienation and Subjection, published by Haymarket Books. Here you can see a copy. What is it about? What is at stake? Let me start with a shortcut definition. Ideology theories try to grasp the inner stability of modern capitalistic society, a stability that survives even dire economic crises, a kind of consensus that cannot be sufficiently explained by economic conditions or violence or manipulation. How come that the popular classes submit to a system of exploitation, of domination, of marginalization that contradicts their vital interests? What are the ideological mechanisms that make that this subjection is performed in a voluntary and often even passionate manner? The book leads through different theoretical approaches that try to explain this voluntary subjection. Marx and Engels developed a critical concept of ideology as a form of alienation, but they did not elaborate a systematic theory of ideology. From there, I draw different lines. One of them leads to Lenin and then to so-called Marxism-Leninism. And we are confronted with the problem how to explain that Marx's radical critique of ideology could be transformed into its opposite, into a Stalinistic state ideology from above with its own high priest, its own catechism and rituals. Another line leading to Antonio Labriola, to Georgi Lukács, and also to the early Frankfurt School around Max Horkheimer and Theodor Adorno, held onto Marx's critical concept of ideology and developed it in different ways, for instance, as reified consciousness or instrumental reason. And then we encounter the so-called ideology theoretical turn in the late 1970s and then 1980s, which claimed to overcome the traditional understanding of ideology as false consciousness altogether. Louis Althusser argued that ideologies operate through ideological state apparatuses and are enacted by rituals, practices, and material arrangements, which means that the ideological is to be investigated in its own proper materiality. And ideologies operate through unconscious mechanisms, through images, through the imaginary, through what Althusser calls interpellations, by which attitudes of voluntary subjection are being produced, through which the obedient subjects themselves are being constituted. This strand of materialistic ideology theories has taken different forms. One of them was developed by the neo-Gramscian scholar Stuart Hall in the UK, who famously argued that the most important question regarding ideology is not what is false about it, but what about it is true, in the sense of it makes good sense. Another important contribution was formulated by the Berlin Projekt Ideologietheorie, which combined Marx and Engels' critique of ideology with Gramsci's and Althusser's emphasis on the materiality of the ideological. It is this combination of the different strands of ideology critique and ideology theory that interests me the most. The book is designed as a comparative analysis, and my main goal is to put the different approaches into a fruitful dialogue with each other. The theoretical and also political perspective of the book is the renewal of an ideology critique which is informed and backed up by a materialist theory of the ideological, and is therefore equipped to actually intervene into the hegemonic struggles of our time. So if you find interesting what I just tried to convey, you might consider buying a copy directly from the publisher, from Haymarket Books. It is important to support Haymarket Books and historical materialism in these times of crisis. And again, the book has the title Theories of Ideology, the Powers of Alienation and Subjection. Thank you very much.